So, did you enjoy the course?
Yes, it was amazing.
What did you like the most?
Everything.
It was like a special experience, you know. These are things that people don't see every day. So it was really awesome to be here.
This experience was as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You never really completely and fully understand an architect's work until you actually are there, and you get to see it and feel it, touch it, and you can look at every single detail. And it's not the same as opening up a book and reading about or seeing architecture. It's just a completely different experience, and you can get such a greater understanding of what the architect is trying to achieve.
And really satisfying educationally and culturally. Learned a lot.
I expected a lot, and I think I actually got more than I expected out of it, based on appreciation of things. I've always had an appreciation of the things I've learned in architecture history and such, and I knew I'd get more out of it by seeing it in person, but I think I actually got far more than I expected out of that. Throughout the different times we've seen, and actually touching it and seeing it and really knowing what it means to be in these spaces. It's quite different than a picture, like they always say, but it really is true.
This is my first time in Europe. I never thought I would have ended up in Rome. This is my first time in Europe, but very satisfied with that. To see a great deal of history, of things that I never see in America. It's things that go back thousands of years.
When you're here, you can feel the structure.
Learned, from detail all the way to like planning.
By just studying it in a book, it's not the same thing.
Of course, just by being able to see architecture and really see it for its details and what it's doing and why it's doing that and how it comes together. And I think going into the next year of architecture, that's going to help me a lot in being able to walk into a city, come up with some of my own opinions about what I'm looking at, or what types of things to consider when working on future projects.
I didn't know so much about structural details. And
having the chance to look at the ruins where a lot of the details that are usually added were exposed. Do you think improved your understanding of details?
Yeah, it definitely did. I got a better understanding, and it was interesting to see how through the different ruins that we saw, and how they progressed in their different technologies and approaches to making the arches and the vaults and the fenestrations. You could see the progression over time from the very beginnings when we went to like the Villa Adriana, and then the pictures I saw of the Ostia Antica, and then we saw other ruins like the Roman Forum. You could see the development over time of how the arches and the fenestration and the vaulting improved, and the construction got lighter and lighter as time went by, and even today. And throughout the week, you can see by looking at a building, you can tell a lot about when it was built just by the fenestration and that sort of thing.
It's like amazing.
But you were going to reuse the same decorations that they were using?
Oh, no. Some of the decorations were a little gaudy, but
I learned a lot of things. It was just the reasons why all these things were built are really evident.
The one that I enjoyed the most, I'd have to say, was Baroque, because you could see the passion that was put into it with the movement and how there was never, the spaces just never ended. They continued with always in motion. It created dynamic spaces, but not only on the inside but on the outside too. The movement of the building was just, it made it was such a dynamic space.
And today we're going to see Zaha Hadid, and it will be interesting to see how the same ideas are developed now.
You look through a lot of pictures when you're working on a project trying to get ideas and grasp it, but it's completely different seeing it in person and really discovering for yourself why things are done on an overall conceptual scale, and the simple details of structure and framing and why it's done that way, and is it effective or not. I think every time I go to a new city or a new place, I'm going to be thinking about those things when I look at architecture, and it's because I came here with somebody who understands everything I'm looking at, to give me an idea of the types of things to question. I think that's important.
It's like amazing.
Yeah, going back to the ruins and just seeing their tectonics and the way they went about making their structure.
I'll definitely consider a lot more detail now. I think people.
For instance, like how they use every little brick to create like some kind of design. It's like amazing.
It was beautiful to see that they really cared about what they were doing. They were passionate and they put a lot of time and thought.
So you're gonna be more passionate yourself?
Yeah, definitely is. And now I definitely will focus on a lot more details and a lot, not just, and also spatially, how different experiences matter. Like the church is supposed to be a majestic experience. It's supposed to be something bigger than you, bigger than something that you can understand, whereas a house is a completely different space. It's a personal.
I know that's where architecture is from. I know that's the main point, and then from there, and then come up with my own design, come up with my own style.
Which period did you like better?
My favorite had to be last week during the Renaissance and the Baroque. I just liked that they were still using what was used 2,000 years before, and they brought it back with even more detail and fixed a lot of problems, like a lot of the ugly corners turned into pretty corners now, and they made it visually pleasing, spatially pleasing. It just became a whole other experience. It was more than something that had to be used.
It's an opportunity that I think everybody should have. You never really completely understand a built work until you experience it for yourself, and you can touch it, you can feel it. I think it should be mandatory for every architecture student to be able to see the mecca of architecture, basically.
It's like amazing.
I feel bad for everybody else in our year that didn't come, because I feel like we have an upper hands now on them. And I'll definitely be going back and pushing them not just to go visit a city, but to go with somebody that can understand, even if it's even if they can't do a class, which I think should be done. I would at least recommend that they go with somebody who knows what they're looking at and be able to help question the things that they should.
So
Yeah, I do think it's important. You can't do architecture now without understanding the past. You need to see things.
It's like amazing.
In a lot of the Roman architecture, of how much structure and thought goes into how things are held together. And that's not to say, we don't have new materials and we can push buttons in other ways. But to see it and see it, like the strength of it after thousands of years, I think that's important to learn.
what do you think went wrong in this course?
I can't say anything went wrong. I just wish we had more time, to really think about these things instead of day to day, just trying to go to as many different places as we can. There's just so much that Rome has to offer and could be analyzed.
It's like amazing.
Do this, everybody do this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.